Welcome back to another video. This is the second time I'm recording this because I wasn't happy with the finished product of my previous attempt at this video. So this is going to be the first episode of a new series I'm going to be calling Class Overview, which will be going over all the 5 classes in Order in Chaos Online, going through their subclasses, what the class is like in general, and which subclass I think is the best in general. So let's start with Flame Knight, which is my main. Now the first thing I'm going to be talking about is how to obtain the Flame Knight, because the Flame Knight is unique compared to all the other classes. All the other classes are unlocked from get-go. The Flame Knight is unlocked by reaching level 70, and the Flame Knight starts at level 65, and no matter what race you've chosen, you will always start on Flare Island, so pretty close to Sanctuary on Flare Island. So what is the Flame Knight like? Well, the Flame Knight is mostly a DPS oriented AoE class, so you will be doing a lot of damage. Well, you won't be doing a lot of damage, but you will be doing a lot of damage in a massive area. So you will be killing smaller and weaker enemies a lot more effectively than most other classes, but you might not be as effective as, per se, a ranger or an assassin or an elemental or something against, let's say, a boss. You won't be doing as much damage per second unless the team is rocking worse gear than you are. But Flame Knights can also be tanks, depending on which subclass you choose. They come equipped with not a sword. They can't use sword. They come with pole arms. Wait, no, they can use swords or pole arms. So basically like a warrior, except for the fact that you can use axes, you have to use swords or polearms. The legendary weapon is the Lance of the Light, which its special ability is that it spawns in a lion, basically, that damages your target, but the odds of that are not very high. And the Lance of the Light is obtained by getting Bloody Tears, which you can get from a quest or the lottery, and then you fuse that basically with a Halberd of the Light, which is a very common drop in the lottery and in other places, and then you get the legendary weapon. So it's a lot easier than getting all those 10 Atman fragments that you need for all the other legendary weapons in the game. Alright, so Flame Knight has 2 subclasses, which are Garrison and Blazer. Let's go with the Blazer first. The Blazer is the DPS oriented subclass of the Flame Knight, and it's focused mainly on AoE damage. I mean, you can go for different talents that will allow you to deal more damage against single enemies, but the build I'm using is oriented for AoE damage. So Ring of Fire, my Crown of Flame deals AoE damage while Metamorphosis is active, for example. And I also have the I don't remember what it's called, but it's the thing that speeds you up, gives an insane movement speed that leaves a trail of fire behind me as well. So Blazers are often oriented for more like damage over a large area, which is beneficial in dungeons, but it's not as effective in PvP, so you don't see a lot of Flame Knights in PvP, not as many as other classes anyway. So the other subclass is the Garrison, which is the tank oriented subclass of the Flame Knight. Now the Garrison, I wouldn't say is as effective, because the guard already fills the role that the Garrison fills, but he has a shield, so he can tank more, and I do find his abilities to be a bit better. Garrison tanks tend to die a lot quicker when it comes to difficult dungeons than guard tanks, but like if you want to play a tank and you want to play a Flame Knight, then you can go for Garrison. It's basically like a guard, but he's more Flame Knight abilities. I think he's a bit more damage focused than a guard, personally anyway. Which subclass would I pick? I would obviously pick the Blazer, because I do think that the guard is basically obsoleted by the well, no, the Garrison is obsoleted by the guard, just like the Bloodseeker is obsoleted by the Blazer, because they basically fill the same purpose. But I do find the Blazer to be better when it comes to DPS than the Bloodseeker. But I also believe that guard is better than Garrison, so I think the Warrior and Flame Knight both shine in one of their subclasses, but they're not as good as the other in the other subclass. So I would choose the Blazer. I think he's the best in dungeons. I think if you want to try to play PvP effectively, I would suggest use picking another class. But his grapple of light skill that grapples in enemies and stuns them, which can stun enemies temporarily, is pretty effective in PvP, especially if your partner can get in a few high damage hits while the person is stunned. It also has pretty good range, but other than that I wouldn't recommend it for PvP. I'd say it's more of a PvE focused class. And yeah, that's all I have to say about the Flame Knight. I think it's my favorite class. I think it's really cool. But it might not be for you if you're focused on PvP, which I think most people nowadays are. So I wouldn't pick Flame Knight if I was going to play PvP, but if you want a cool class and you like fire, then I would definitely pick a Flame Knight. And that's all I've got for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!